on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be pulling out the transmission. So my last outing at the track, I went to try to go for another 10-second pass. I turned up the boost a little bit to about 19-20 pounds, and I started getting all up out the back. So I kind of aborted the run. I did an 11.4, but the car felt weird. When I got back to the pits, I could smell oil burning off something exhaust wise. So I look underneath the car, and the unfortunate rear main seal is leaking. Now for those of you who are new to the channel, I rebuilt this motor a year ago. I had an oil pump failure go out, and I had the motor reconditioned and put it back together. When we put the car back together, the rear main we had to do twice that same day. So we put a seal in, started up, and it leaked right away. Took it out, put a new seal in. Didn't seem to be leaking right away, but as I started doing test driving and bringing the motor back in, under higher boost it would leak. So I knew that if I kept the boost kind of tame, the leak wasn't that bad. A couple drips here and there in my driveway, my garage, but it wasn't that bad that I was worried about changing it right away. Now that as I'm steadily trying to keep the boost above 18 to 22 pounds of boost, it doesn't hold. So I want to pull this out and fix that, because I do have a Monster twin disc clutch in there right now. I don't want it getting soaked in oil and killing the clutch at that point, as well as the oil. I don't want to have this motor grenade on me from oil starvation a second time. This is a built bottom end, so a forged piston and rod. They were sandblasted and lightly filed for the rings. I think I might have just slightly hurt rings, and the reason why I say that is just the amount of blow by coming through the catch can. It's starting to increase, so that's your telltale sign there's a small issue there as well. So want to fix this first. We'll take a look at a couple things. I'm going to do an oil change on this as well, and see how that's holding up. So my mind, I would prefer to probably pull this engine out next year and just run through it all, like heads and all, top to bottom, and just make sure things are still happy. I want to check the bearings. I want to check just everything I can to keep this one from completely going on me. So this is probably like the longest I've had a motor stay together after punishing it with too much boost. So I don't want to ruin it just yet. So we're gonna get the transmission out. I'm by myself, so it's gonna be a little bit of a painstake to do it on my own. I haven't done it by myself in a long time. So I'm gonna put some gloves on. I'll set the camera down, and I'll stop in between, just kind of give updates as it comes apart. Okay. All right, so we are back. It is Monday, Labor Day holiday. So I didn't really record much, or I didn't record at all. It's just working out. Getting the transmission out. My buddy Calvin came over to help me out with that because it was really tight to get out. But transmission is out. Flywheel's out. New seal is in. So clutch looks still really good. Just gotta clean up the flywheel just from the dust and oil. Clutch material didn't get soaked in oil at all, which is really good news. Transmission over here, things look good. Just need to clean it out. BeatStars.com. So I'm happy with that. Car wise, so when I did the old seal, it had a small spot. I threw it away already. Small spot that you can tell oil is pushing out from. Gasket was good on the timing, or the rear cover. So just had to use a new one, even though I could have reused the old one. Just gonna add a little bit more silicone on the bottom of the pan, seal where that bolts up, and then I have to see if I can find a extra flywheel bolt, because one was just not happy to come out, so I had to use the turbo socket to get that out. So I got one flywheel bolt that is not gonna make it. So we're gonna get back the car in the air, start putting the flywheel on, and then I gotta find a bolt somehow and then reassemble. Alright, so it's been 3 hours. Randy just took off. He helped me get the transmission in, and I wouldn't have got it back in without his help. I am covered in transmission fluid and sweat, but here's where we're at right now. So transmission is in, flywheel, clutch, everything's all back together there. I need to go up top and put in the top 2 or 3 transmission bolts. Need to re-tighten up the motor mounts, and then it would be reassemble for drive shaft, torque arm. Then up top, I'd have to put back on the downpipe, strut tower brace, and fire her back up, and it better not leak. With my luck, it will leak, and also with my luck, or not my luck, but my patience right now, is if it does, that's just too bad. It will stay that way, because this was not fun to do. It's really tight to do the transmission now, just because with the turbo exhaust and everything up top, to undo the motor mounts completely to get enough tilt angle on the back of the block is a pain. So there's not a lot of room above the transmission, like you're talking half an inch of wiggle room, and it has to go in a very specific angle to get the transmission flying back up. So getting it out is one thing, to force it out, getting it back in was painstaking to say the least. But she's in, so onwards and upwards we go. Alright, so just doing the oil change in the car before I put the exhaust back on and put everything up top back together and take it for a drive. But, so, taking out the drain plug itself, I opted to put a magnetic drain plug in this car quite some time ago because it always gives you a telltale of things that are starting to go. So there is quite a bit of metal, might be hard to see, on the drain plug magnet here. So my suspicions in terms of one or two of the pistons still being hurt after being rebuilt last year is getting up there. It also makes sense for the small increase in blow-by that I'm noticing out of the catch cans. So it's been in the back of my mind that an oil ring or two are just slightly not in the best shape. So car still runs great. Air fuel is still on point, but the computer is going to adjust quite a bit for fueling in that regard. So I don't think it's hurt enough yet where it's really spitting out oil, but I am noticing it start to. So I do want to do a refresh on the bottom end, especially with the rings. I don't think it's a block issue. I think it's more just second rings that are going, or who knows. I know I had a lot of trash kind of run through when I ran no filter at the track as well, so I'm sure a lot of that has to be flushed out and redone. When I rebuilt it last year, I did have the heads re-cleaned, just the bottom end, but they looked pretty pristine. I'm running methanol, so the heads were really clean when they came off, so I didn't really think I had a top end issue that I had to really worry about. So, but yeah, gonna finish the oil change, put some fresh oil in it, clean up the magnet, and we'll put all that together, go for a drive. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I've put on the new rear main seal. I've been slowly working up in terms of boost just to see how it holds. So right now I've hit about 15 pounds of boost. I have no signs of leak, so that's good so far. I'll be doing a long drive today, so I'll be kind of gradually on the highway just turning things up and seeing how that goes, and cross my fingers that for now my rear main seal issues are calmed down for a bit. I might be going to a private track rental on October 17th, and so long as everything seems okay, I'll give it a go at St. Thomas Raceway with a bunch of guys from Champion Motors. So we'll see how that goes. Right now I got to put the car back up. The cutout underneath is stuck wide open, so I need to see what's going on with that. So that's where we're at right now.